So Terry, we'll start with I Send My Love for the first song.
Second one.
I send
My love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me.
Sing that. I send my
Over the mountain, I send my love. Over the sea, I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me.
Send my joy.
I send my joy over the mountain. I send my joy over the sea. I send my joy into the heavens, and it returns to me.
Again.
I send my joy over the mountain. I send my joy over the sea. I send my joy into the heavens, and it returns to me.
Send my power.
I send my power over the mountain. I send my power over the sea. I send my power into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my power over the mountain. I send my power over the sea. I send my power into the heavens, and it returns to me.
Send my love. I send
My love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me.
It returns to me. And
It returns to me.
it returns to me.
It returns to me.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity Church, where our mission is to awaken and embrace the Christ in all persons through prayer and service. I'm Dave Farrell. I'll be your platform assistant this morning. I want to draw your attention to the bulletin. All the announcements are in there, so it's make sure you get this, take it with you, and all the calendar events are in there. If that's not enough information for you, there's a bulletin board on the main hall, and there's also the website. So with that stuff, you should be fully informed. Okay, a few announcements this morning. There is meditation between the services at 10:15. There's a membership class starting up sometime today. Today. On the 20th, which is what, a week, next weekend, there's a lot going on. There's cleanup day on Saturday. There's a movie following that, and there's an open house that evening. So that's next Saturday. Oh, copies, okay. Chaplain training and prayer class begins on the 24th. There's a Halloween party on the 27th. And John Welshens will be here on the 4th of November he'll be at the pulpit and also a workshop in the afternoon. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Oh, yeah. The flowers this morning are in loving memory of Heather Diddell's sister, Kathy. Yeah. Thank you. So I'd like to read a little reflection if you just kind of relax in your seat. So this is what, mid-October. In a month or so we'll be thinking about gifts. We don't want to do that too prematurely, probably. So here's a little reflection by Clark Wells. Clark Wells is a Unitarian minister. A good exercise is to make a list of the best gifts we ever got. That will tell us what is important for ourselves and for people we want to give gifts to. While I remember a Daniel Boone hat and a magical set with great affection, the nicest gifts I ever got are in quite a different category. The Caroliner at Rockefeller Chapel let me strike one of the largest tune bells in the world during his playing of Enfesburg. My mother giving me a complete Shakespeare for my 14th birthday. Coach Al Terry sang Little Wells, grab your bonnet, and permitted me to enter as a freshman into my first varsity football game. A beautiful lady on a ship when I was still an acne teenager who kissed my face all over and told me that I was handsome. Dr. Henry Weinman telling me that he had thought for several hours about a question I had raised and responded with a written answer the next day in front of the whole class. Night after night, my father playing catch with me in the backyard until it got so dark we couldn't see the ball. A minister in Kalamazoo who put his arm around me after my father died and kept it there a long, long time. A friend who flew several hundred miles to visit me when I was sick. A buddy who went to see 3 movies with me in the same day. The nicest gifts we have given me have been enabling, confirming gifts, bestowing understanding and self-esteem, help in time of trouble, and delight for ordinary days. And the daily word for Sunday, October 14th, prosperity. I am grateful for the many ways prosperity expresses in my life. My prospering thoughts find expressions in my life in many ways. I enjoy an abundance of love, peace, health, and happiness, and I pause regularly each day to appreciate my many blessings. The same blessings express whenever I focus my creative thinking on my finances. No matter what my ego mind may insist, I know that I have nothing to fear. I am one with divine mind, and fear has no place in my consciousness. I am guided quickly and easily to choices that will lead to financial prosperity in my life. In quiet moments of meditation throughout the day, I appreciate the ways in which my life is prospering now, and I call upon my gratitude to gently dissolve any sense of lack I may perceive. And from Corinthians, the point is this: the one who sows sparingly will also reap sparingly. The one who sows bountifully will also reap bountifully. And are there any prayer chaplains here this morning beside myself?
And thank you all for coming here so that we can all celebrate that this is the day the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice and be glad. This is the day the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Welcome to Unity Church in Albany. I'm Rev Crystal Muldrow. So happy to have you here. Do we have anyone here for the very first time? Please don't be afraid. We have gifts to share with you as a welcome. Welcome everyone who is here brand new each and every day. And so know that as our beautiful board trustee Dave said, we have chaplains for prayer. We also have other avenues for prayer that you'll find on the back of your bulletin. In mail and phone calls, we gathered them all up, including your prayer requests that are in front of you. Diva, platform assistant Diva, lifted them up for you to see. They're multicolors. You can leave them in our wooden answer box. So occasionally there's a white mailbox that's off to the side of the table that I check maybe twice, 3 times, well, every other month or maybe 3 months. And occasionally I will find prayer requests there. So please, the white box that's hanging on the wall, that is not the prayer box that gets checked. It is the wooden box that is on the wooden table in the Bradford Street entrance. But you know what? Whether you place them in the white box or not, they get prayed over. And so because this community is a praying community, they'll get prayers. And so with that, let us say our statement of oneness. Thank you, Terry. And so the power of Christ's love now releases me from any sense of separation from spirit or others. There is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe. That one is God, the good omnipotence. And so this information has been sporadic. I need to apologize to this gentleman. Terry, would you stand up, please? So if you look behind at that gentleman, this is Terry Bailey, our new alternate prayer board of trustees. So we are so very happy to have him with us. Elaine Lasda has some beautiful, abundant blessings that took her away because she could not do her due diligence on the board, which had our former board alternate, Dave, step into that position. And we looked high and low, and it kept dinging, Terry, ask Terry, Terry. And so we did, and he said yes, and we were so, so grateful. Thank you very much. And with that, let us prepare for meditation.
Got 2 nuts drink. And out. When I pray,
I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am,
I invite you to relax, let go, and allow God's will of good move in and through you as peace as we move into meditation. If you haven't done so already, we invite you to close your eyes, for you are in a beautiful and safe place. For all around you is God, surrounding you, loving you. Release your hands if you find that they're clasped together. Your arms or your feet. Place your feet on the ground. Allow yourself to be in a position where you are open and receptive to the presence, the peace of God. I invite you to focus your attention on the tip of your nose and now right at the entrance of your nostrils. Feeling the coolness of the oxygenated air moving in and through you. Just a light and life, God's life moving in and through you, down your throat, your lungs. Allow that breath to go all the way down to the ground to anchor you, and breathe out. Breathe out any anxieties, breathe out any issues, any tensions. Leaving a void to be filled with your breath in. And while you're focusing on the life coming in and going out, I invite you in your mind's eyes to imagine yourself on the shore of some beautiful body of water. And as you look out on the horizon, you see blue skies and blue water meeting in the middle. Continue to breathe in and out. In your mind's eyes, as you look out, you feel the peace that is present in that beautiful scene. You feel peace as you feel the lapping of the water move across your feet, your bare feet. Continuing to allow any tensions to be taken from you, from the wet, allowing the wet sand to take any tensions or anxieties from you, and letting the water take it from you. And then as the water comes back, along with your breath replenishing you with joy, peace. So with every breath you take, you're filled with more peace, more calm. With every exhale, you've released so much that there is no more tension within your body. Now allow all your senses to hear the water, feel the water, hear the life around you of the birds singing and playing, of nature, life all around you. Enjoy this life in your mind's eyes, the silence. Now allow yourself to feel the call back to this present moment. In your mind's eyes, every time you feel the wave go across your foot, allow that to transition into your feet being planted on this ground. Allow the waves to subside. Again, feeling your body in this present moment. Still breathing in, breathing out. As you breathe in, you reconnect to the ground, feeling your feet fully connected. Allowing the sensation of being back in this present moment to easily, gently move up the legs. I invite you to wiggle your toes a little bit just to get back the sensation. Allow the energy, present moment, to start moving up your body, up your legs, your waist and hips. Continue to focus in on the breath now as you breathe in, making sure that your diaphragm moves out fully, and then release diaphragm moving in as your breath comes. Fully recognizing and appreciating life moving in and through you, easily and gently coming back into this present moment. Allowing your shoulders to just gently move up, down. Gently moving your fingers. Allowing that sensation to move up your neck. Moving your head from side to side. Ever so gently. And when you are ready, we invite you to open your eyes. And if and when you're ready, I invite you to join us. Thank you. Just as that NDRE song says and states, you, me, all of us, we are light. And that the mistakes that we made because of our enslavement in our minds, or that anyone else's enslavement of their minds, it still means, though, that no matter what mistakes we've made, we're worthy and deserving of being freed of the enslavement that we find ourselves in, and anyone and everyone who finds themselves in an enslaved situation, there's freedom. So if you haven't been a part of this conversation the last 3 weeks, you're probably going, what is Rev Crystal talking about? Well, we've been looking at the scripture from Exodus 3, Old Testament Exodus 3. Moses has killed somebody. He's fled. He finds that he is out in the wilderness, finds himself pretty much adopted into a family. He marries the daughter, and now he's a shepherd. He used to be in royalty. Now he finds himself out in the wilderness, shepherding sheep. And at some point in time, during this time of hiding out, goes into the furthest place of the wilderness, where he finds God. He finds the Holy Spirit, he finds Jehovah, he finds the various aspects of God in this burning bush. And we learn that in unity, we teach that every aspect of the Bible is a part of us. We learn that Moses means extracting out. And so we carry on knowing that in this ordinary place, even in our ordinary lives, and represented by this ordinary bush, that Spirit is within us, in all of us. That holy ground is not a place outside of us, but we are holy ground. And that we have a call, was the second part of the talk. We have a call to free ourselves from the bondage of our thinking. And our thinking continues to create a life that enslaves us. And just as we are called to free our brothers and sisters. That anyone that you find in bondage, that have been ripped away from their homes, that are in any form of slavery, I used the refugees, but it's in any form of slavery. There's sex trafficking. There's a lot of slavery and immigrants who are illegally smuggled in, and they're used in households as indentured slaves, basically. We still have an issue here, and we are called to free everyone. And that's where we left off. Rob Geyer talked a lot about being in the wilderness. We all find ourselves in the wilderness. His talk was in and out of the wilderness. And just as easily as we find ourselves in the wilderness, we can easily find ourselves out of it. Just as easily as we find ourselves in fear, which continues to bring us into a hellacious situation, we can turn around. We can repent, is the meaning of turning around, change our minds, change our hearts, change our lives, and move forward. And so the next component of Exodus is Moses has been told by the burning bush, which we see as Jehovah. He says, go, free the people of Egypt. And so Moses, who's extracting, said, who am I to do this? Just like we all do. Who am I to do this? And then he switches it up, which is where we're at. He goes, all right, if I do this, I go to Egypt, I go to all these people, who should I say sent me? And that's where we are. We are the holy ground. Wherever there is sorrow, there is holy ground. So Moses said to God, if I come to the Israelites and say to them, the God of your ancestors has sent me to you, and they ask me, what is his name? What shall I say to them? And God said to Moses, I am who I am. He said further, thus you shall say to the Israelites, I am has sent me to you. The Lord, the God of your ancestors, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This, the name I am, is my name forever, and this is the title for all generations. And so I believe you've heard me talk a lot about I am throughout the couple years I've been here. And this is the genesis. This is the root of what the Fillmores really took a major nugget of the Old Testament. Now we learned that Charles Fillmore says that the I am is a multitude of divine ideas within Christ. It is the I am is us, the divine man. The I am is the divine idea, the Christ consciousness. It is that Christic consciousness of God. It is that aspect of us that is yearning to do better. And so the aspect that is deep within us, the truth of who we are, is calling us out, saying that you do not need to do what you're doing anymore. You no longer need to be in fear. You no longer need to be in slavery to your thoughts. You no longer need to create a life that is other than what I wish for you. I do hear your calls, God says. I do hear the cries of the Israelites, the chosen people. It isn't just the chosen people, one people. We are all the chosen people because we are all the sons and daughters of God. And we are all meant to be the divine idea, yet we have gone astray. And what this simple passage says is that I hear you. Come back to me. Come back, extract the truth of yourself. And you have the power because I'm with you all the time. I want to share with you an actual story of someone who in their lives became a living Moses. Her name is Aramita Ross, and she was born enslaved. And at a young age, she escaped. It's interesting, Aramita said, I had crossed the line. I was free, but there was no one to welcome me to the land of freedom. I was a stranger in a strange land. And so Aramita decided that she was going to continue to cross that line between freedom and enslavement and get her people out. And so for 10 years, she made repeated secret trips leading over 300 enslaved people to freedom. Because I think slavery is next to hell. A person would send another into bondage. He would, it appears to me, be bad enough to send him into hell if he could. Aramita listened to the words of God and didn't know how she was going to do it, but she did it. She listened within to that burning bush that was in her, and she said to the Lord, I'm going to hold steady on you and know you'll see me through. And Aramita did this to slaves. When there was a war within her country, she decided to be a spy. She decided to be a nurse. She decided to continue to up the ante, to free her people. She was so bad, she became to be known as the Moses of her people. True story. She says, every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars, to change the world. She changed the world. We have the power to change the world. If we only believe and move within into that bush, that burning, passionate sensation which says, I want to be free. And the bodhisattva component, the Buddhist bodhisattva, who says, I cannot fully evolve. I cannot ascend unless we all ascend, because I am you and you are me. You might know this person by another name. Armita took her mother's name. Armita Ross took her mother's name, which was Harriet Ross. She then married John Tubman and became Harriet Tubman. And while Harriet Tubman was going back and forth, also know that like Moses, she was afflicted. In Exodus 4, I think it was 4:10, in which we'll get to next week to finalize this. Moses, even though God says, I'll be with you, Moses says, but I don't know if I can do this because I have a speech impediment. Still that fight. Even though we hear it within ourselves, you can do this. I'm with you. I am the truth of who you are. We still try to fight. Harriet, as a child, was hit over the head. And even during the most dangerous times through the Underground Railroad, she'd fall unconscious. Hours, days. I remember at some point in times, it was almost weeks. Terrified. People around her just waited around until she would awaken. There's a quote from her that basically says, I was the only conductor of a railway that never got derailed. She never lost anybody, even with that affliction. Doesn't matter what is happening to us. Doesn't matter if sometimes we fall asleep. We all have the power and the passion. Because Jehovah, the I am, is us. The I am is the most powerful two words in the language because it represents the truth of who we are, that Christic consciousness. And let me lay this on you. Anytime you use the I am in a way that is not the truth of the Christ consciousness, which is not of good, which is not of life, which is not of greatness as the divine idea of who we are, then you are blaspheming the truth. Anytime you say you're anything less, know that I cancel this out. I am stupid. We've said that to ourselves. Oh, I am so dumb for doing that. We accept the poisons from other people. You are so this, you are so that, whether it was a parent, a family member, our siblings, a teacher, our supervisors. Anytime we made a mistake, you are this. Extract the poisons from yourself. Pull yourself out of them, recognizing that you also are the burning bush that has the power of the I am within you. And anytime someone tells you or you tell yourself something other than the truth, negate that and say, no, I am blessed beyond measure. I am the wisdom of God. I am the strength of God. I am the beauty of God. I am the passion to move forward. This quote I've said before in this series, this quote I'll say again because it's one of my favorites, and I think it speaks the truth of us. Why do we cancel out the I am? I think Marianne Williamson has it. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. And I get that. How many of us have not seen the story on television or in the Bible of Jesus, who knew his power, who knew his I am, and tried to teach it to us? And what happened to Jesus? Crucified. crucified for knowing his truth, crucified for being a teacher, trying to teach us all of the truth. So I get it. If that is just one example, how many times have you been crucified for just trying to do the right thing, for moving up the ladder, for trying to help someone? And all of a sudden you're crucified. Well, you think you're better than everyone. You all have heard that, haven't you? Felt that feeling. How many times have we been stuffed with the Bible even that says we have to humble ourselves? We can't be too big, too mighty. That's all a paradigm that we are washing away. It is all right to know your power. What is not all right is to believe that you are the only power. That the person who is next to you, behind you, around you, is not just as powerful. So as you extract yourself from the slavery of your own mind, of the poisons that people have given you, and recognize the truth of the I am, the call continues to move forward within each and every one of us, to raise everyone up, so that we all evolve, so that we all know the truth of ourselves. If I am powerful beyond measure, so are you. So are you. So are you. So are you. We are all powerful. We all have the power to move forward to the land of milk and honey. For that is the promise that God has given to Moses. Take your people away from the miseries that they are in to the land of milk and honey. That is the promise to each and every one of us. So it is time to shed off the false premises of I am not powerful enough, to embrace the beauty of the power that we are, and to use our power to extract us and others, to extract ourselves from slavery and extract all others who we are enslaving and that have been enslaved by others, to build them up and to say you are worthy of being free. You are worthy of a life that is great and stupendous. You are worthy of living in happiness and joy. To say that of myself and to you. To say that and to believe in ourselves that we are constantly evolving to a greater expression of our divine self. Listen to that. We are constantly evolving into a greater expression of our divine selves. Let's make that personal. Repeat after me. I am ever evolving into a greater expression of my divine self. I am ever evolving into a greater expression of my divine self. Let's say it one more time because it feels so good. I am ever evolving into a greater expression of my divine self. This is what is ours to do. Continue to evolve greater and greater into our divine selves. And so it is. If you want another affirmation, in your bulletin, you will find a very common phrase and the truth of who you are. Let's say this together. I am the light of the world. Breathe that in because you are. Say it again. I am the light of the world. And yes, you are. Amen. And we have a special musicians, Ginger and Will.
Who am I? Sit with the mystery. Our God makes no mistakes. And our God made you and me. Pray for ears to hear and the eyes to see. Take off your sandals. Behold the holy flame. The truth is burning bright. In the deep we are the same. I am that I am, one spirit, one name. I am that I am. I am that I am. We shall see the sons and the daughters of man dance free. And we shall see it now, this very hour. Claim our name and feel the power of kindness. Behold the power of kindness. Behold the power of kindness.
Well, you guys might remember this is 9 o'clock, so not much movement.
Come close, beloved. Lay down your sword and breathe. Only the eyes of love can bring hatred to its knees. Angels shout with joy the moment we sing. I am that I am. I am that I am. We shall see the lion lay down with the lamb in peace. And we shall see it now, this very hour. Claim our name and feel the power of kindness. Behold the power of kindness. Behold the power of kindness. We shall see the lion lay down with the lamb in peace.
At our retreat last weekend, and I said, wow, that would be perfect for the talk I'm going to do in a couple weeks. So thank you. In the spur of the moment, I thought you were supposed to be out of town, so I don't know what happened, but thank God that you were able to share that. Also know, I'll give a little spiel here, that comes off of their current CD, Wake Up Call. And so you can speak to these two lovely people if you'd like to hear it. It's a beautiful CD, so I welcome you to that. Know that this is... Pete, thank you. You get it. Pete is my accomplice, a great accomplice he is. Thank you. And so this is our time for our offering. I invite you to take your offering. I like to put it in the hand and then put it to my heart. Oh, thank you, Diva, for assisting Mary Ann. And then put my other hand over it. But however you want to pray over the offering, we just ask as a spiritual community, you place love and gratitude into it. And let us say together, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. We are blessed to know that Spirit is our source. Thank you, Father, Mother, God.
And
So it is. Amen.
How can I serve today, sweet Spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. How can I serve today, sweet Spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. How can I serve today, sweet Spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Who needs my love today, sweet Spirit? Who needs my love today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Who needs my love today, sweet Spirit? Who needs my love today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Where must I share today, sweet Spirit? How must I share today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Amen.
I invite you to stand and join hands in the center.
When there's light in the soul,